Us?
Yes, it's just us, Angie. Welcome back to another episode of the Port Miscellaneous Talks. I'm your host, Glassford Crossfield. Guys, please introduce yourselves.
Oh, hey, I'm Dora. Well, I go by Jugs off of Twitter, but it's Dora.
Nice.
And I'm Angie. Just
I'm
Angie.
Francesca. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Francesca.
Great. And so the first topic that we will talk about today is polygamy. So, Dora, I believe you were in a polygamous relationship at one point, correct?
Can we define
Yes.
polygamy? Just for
People who don't know.
I mean, it's
For
when you're
listeners.
technically, you're married, I guess, to more than one person.
Committed to
it doesn't
more-
necessarily have to be married.
Yeah, committed.
It's tied to
Not-
committed. Okay.
Right, just committed, yeah.
So, how did that experience go for you, Dora?
It was interesting. I know a lot of people talk about polygamy and they might want to, be a part of it. They might be interested, but when the situation actually presents itself, a lot of people can't maybe handle the pressure of being in a polygamy relationship. So I think a lot of them don't last for that reason. But I think everything has a lesson. It just taught me what to do next time I'm in that situation if it happens to happen again.
Would you recommend Go ahead, Angie.
I was gonna say, would you allow it? Like, are you open to it happening again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you recommend polygamy to others?
I don't ever recommend anything to anybody because everybody's different. Everybody has their own things that they want. And a lot of time people have too much, I think, mental baggage to where they might not know exactly what they want. It might look enticing, it might look a certain way, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I don't recommend anything, but I would tell somebody to be more open-minded to it, and you'd be surprised at how beneficial it actually is.
One of the issues that I hear that some people that have with polygamy, because I know some other people that have been in those kind of relationships, is that the man more times than not tends to favor one over the other, and then that ends up having some problems. Did that situation happen with you guys, or?
No, it was more of so I'm a lot older than most people probably think because of how childish I am sometimes, but the other girl, she was a little younger, so it was a different way of communicating, and it just didn't and I'm one of those people where if it just don't, I'm not going to force it, because then somebody is going to get the short end of the stick if it's forced. So it just didn't, and we parted ways. We're still hella cool, we're still friends, we just don't cross that line anymore.
Got you. Francesca, do you think you could ever be in a polygamous relationship?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say no, because I've never had that brought up to me. I've never been exposed to it. It's just in this situation, I guess. I don't think I would be jealous of the other girl. I would just want her to like me as much as she likes him, if that makes sense. If it that because a lot of times when I do speak to other people about like polygamous relationships, they usually think it's a benefit for the man, like he's a player or something. But it's like it's supposed to be beneficial for each side. Like me and her is supposed to love each other just as much as we love him, and etc. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Got you. What about you, Angie?
I'd agree with Francesca. Like, I don't want to say no. I'm open to it if it was like the right circumstance and the right people. Like, I would just like that kind of energy, like to be like where me and her like each other as much as we like him, and we're just all friends, and it's like a real bond, like where we're all getting like having conversations and getting to know each other and learning each other and all open. And I'm open, but yeah.
Got you. Why do you think polygamy is so frowned upon in today's society? Angie?
Because they automatically assume the man's cheating, or he's getting, his cake and eating it too. maybe. And that's not the case, because if y'all women, we know we're difficult. So imagine a man dealing with two of us by choice. Like
Right.
he's gonna, like he's choosing to do this. So it has nothing to do with him wanting
I,
two women at the end of the day. I think it's just a balance. You have to have a good leader. Move, mom. Come here. You're so nosy.
I wonder too, because the thing is that we speak on polygamous relationship, and we automatically think like two women and a man. Like, I wonder how would that be if it was like two men
Nobody
and
thinks
a woman.
about three incomes, like there's three
Oh,
incomes now. There's another, if you have kids, you have another girl literally right there to help you with your children if you need assistance. If, this has to be cooked and this person has to be dropped off and that thing has to be done, you can't do it by yourself, mama. So that's where the other girl might come in. She might not have kids, so this will prepare her for when you guys decide to bring another little one, and then you can
and I
help
think
her with that. So
that goes to what is it Francesca or Franny? How can we
Yes, Francesca.
like Francesca was saying, just making sure that the love is there mutually and equally amongst the three. Where there's actual partnership happening amongst three people rather than just three people staying there together and having sex and
yeah.
Also, I think it's frowned upon because it's not traditional. And I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people in my family or my friends or their families, etc., are religious, or they grew up with a church background, and it's not, I guess like in the Old Testament, people probably did have like multiple
Please.
wives and stuff, but like
They
in the
can
New
have
Testament,
radical.
yeah, but like in the New Testaments and stuff like that, it kind of looked down on, and like just, I don't know. And I feel like jealousy also does play a big part, because even like in a polygamous relationship. So for example, I follow a TikTok couple. Well, it's 4 of them. So it's 1 guy and 3 girls. And one of the girls, she was the first girl and she had a baby with the guy, and then they invited another girl and then another girl. And sometimes like in their comments would look like, oh, y'all don't feel a type of way that she has a baby with him and y'all don't. So I think jealousy does play a part of why it's frowned upon also. Yeah.
I want to add closed-mindedness, like where I'm from.
Yeah.
People who are not where I'm from, but I think people in general are very territorial and jealous, and they aren't open to having like not. There is more people getting into the healing journey and the open and communication journey, but there are also a lot of people who, like Francesca said, are extremely traditional. And even though they're millennials or, like they're just, or I don't know, yeah, I was like going back to my original statement, just open-mindedness, the lack of that, um, has
So
looking down upon it.
Angie, so would you be open to the idea of having 2 boyfriends or 2 husbands, so to speak?
No, no,
Interesting. Gotcha.
no,
What about,
no.
what about you,
Because
Francesca?
now I'm thinking about how she was saying, like the girls, like the women, we help one another, and pick up where the other one is like dropping, and we pick up better. I feel having 2 men sounds exhausting. Like
Plus, who wants to put that many miles on their vagina? Like, you want me to take
that
2
too. Wow,
all the time? Like, no.
All the time is crazy.
that too.
Trains all the time.
No, because what if they both want it like the same day? Like, do you do a choo-choo train, or does one get you in the morning, one get you later? Like, I don't see how that would work. And
Right,
plus,
and then with 2
it's just
girls, it's like, sis,
yeah,
my mouth not working today. You do
right. Like, I'm tired. Right, you feel me? We could share the duties.
So
wow.
it would work differently than with 2 girls, in the sense that like, y'all don't think the 2 guys would like each other, right?
It's not even that. I think it's more like, when we look at men as like, you're supposed to be the leader. So if you're, I guess for me, I wouldn't see them both. You have to get down, girl, because you're like scratching me. Okay. So she just wants to be seen. But I think with men, we see them as a leader. So me personally, I don't know if I can have two men that are cool with like sharing me. Like y'all don't, you want to share me? Like I don't like that. Like I want you to keep me to yourself. So that's just me personally though. But I know actually a polygamous couple that is one girl and two guys, but they don't live together. So that might be easier, but I don't know how it works. It's just weird to me. It's a little weird.
Okay.
Because women are more feminine. We're more affectionate. Like we can sit up here and I can brush your hair and help you with your makeup and do stuff like that. But you're not going to see them giving each other lineups and doing stuff like that. Like I doubt it.
Playing 2K.
Yeah, like come on, boys, time to eat. Like no, I'm gonna feel like I have two sons. No,
right.
No,
that's what I started thinking about. The two sons part.
So what about you?
Yeah.
No, I would not be in this relationship with two guys. No, I would not.
Interesting.
But Johnny gonna be loose.
The more you think about it, it's like wow, the other girl could be like your best friend,
right?
And like we could complain about him together,
gang up on him together, talk shit together. You know, it's just like having that. Like she gets it. Like she knows because she deals with him. So you know, there's no point in fighting.
It's like I ain't crazy because there's two of us. We both feel this way. So you got to fix.
So why did you decide to be in a polygamous relationship, Dora?
It kind of just happened, maybe.
Who was first? You were first?
So, kind of okay. So it's kind of a funny story. So I met this guy, and we were talking for a while, few months, maybe like 6 months. And one night we went out, and he introduced me to his this girl. And during the 6 months, I've mentioned I'm interested in polygamy. He's talked about it, so we already knew that we were both open to the situation. So when he introduced me to her, you know, me and her hit it off immediately. And then that night he kind of like, hey, this is what I want to do. If you down, you down. If not, excuse me.
I love cats.
I swear she does not bother me when I'm not doing anything. I promise she does not come this close to me. Like I'm scared. But anyway, but it's on camera, so we good. But he introduced me to her. We hit it off. We were really cool. And he just told us simply, you know, if you're on the boat, you're on the boat. If you're not, I get it. You don't have to be. It was that simple. And I liked him enough to the point where I was like, well, I really like him. Me and her are cool. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. What were some of the advantages of that sort of relationship?
A lot of advantages were if he needed like I don't know. So he has a car auto shop out here. So he does a lot of buys cars, sells cars, all that good stuff. So sometimes he'll need like this done, and then the kids need something done. And then it's like, okay, well, he just gives us each like things that he needs done. So we're always busy. And then if I don't have anything to do, I can do all the stuff that I need to do personally for myself and handle that. So it was always something to do. If I couldn't do anything, she's the first person like, girl, I can't, da 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 da. And she's like, okay, well, I can do this, and then pick it, and it just solves all the issues.
Sounds like a dream for the man. Wow. Oh, what were some of the downsides?
Sometimes, if you want attention, just for yourself, you don't really want to share with anybody. That's one thing. Like you can't. If he just happens to be spending time with her, I can't be like, oh, I want you to spend time with me, because I know eventually I will get my time. I think it's the waiting thing. Like, I just want to be with you whenever I want to be with you. And sometimes I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But then I have to think about myself. Like, I can't be selfish, because she probably thinks the same way. She's like, I just want to spend time with him for 5 minutes without her around, just because it has nothing to do with her personally. It's just, I just want to be alone with him. So I think that's a negative. Also, it's just, there's always a lot going on, which is probably a negative. Like, you're never really alone. Like, he can leave, but then she's still there, or she can leave, or he's still there. So that's another thing. Like, you're not really alone in a situation like that.
Like, you're always in a relationship, but like, you're just always dealing with
time.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you had to like tend to her as much as you had to tend to him?
Well, me personally, I kind of wanted to, because, like I said, she was a little bit younger. So I kind of wanted to take her under my wing a little bit, because there was still a lot of moments that she would snap or say, you know, that young girl shit. And I'm just like, I'm trying to teach you now, honey. You are not going to like this in 10 years if you keep with this attitude. So I'm trying to help you.
Interesting.
Just, yeah. So I think that's why I made it weird. I started looking at her more of like a little sister instead of a girlfriend. And that's what kind of threw the dynamic off. And that's why it just didn't work.
Right.
Excuse ma'am.
Got you. Well,